So back to Dante and Shakespeare. But then each one the other sought to raise preeminent. Who was poet supreme? Which poet counted most in human days? They laughed at struggles had, at what they'd been, but soon their mutual genius fixed on truth, as truth is all that is allowed in heaven. Their laughter ceased as some much deeper proof emerged, alive, and through an open door I had not seen, embedded in the roof. I had to look up, as an eagle soars, and we below see but its majesty and height, and as it swoops, engenders fear lest bodies, even our souls, its targets be. So now, supreme, colossus over all the poets who'd ever lived to scribble, or will have lived when time teeters over full, beside which, through the door, I thought I glimpsed a spaciousness, like entering some lord's hall of olden years, except this wasn't crimped in any way or shape or form, but as one looked, each surface shimmered with elusive hints that now, before my thought could finish, take in the extent of glory being shown, I stood before the poet Dante, Shakespeare both agreed was classless on his own. John the Divine, disciple whom he loved, who understood that word must be that Son who fashioned, made the cosmos and what lives, according to purposes we but guess. There, living light infused with words I craved, he stood, benign, with deep joy and at rest from all those troubles Patmos led him to. But being near, inspired me to express those deepest things my soul so wished to know. No need for introductions here, but straight I asked, tell me, great spirit, the muse flows through with unceasing power to create, why did the one eternal 𝐂𝐈𝐓𝐇, who had no needs, yet deigned to instantiate all matter, though in mankind this was lost? He smiled, perhaps at my simplicity, as if I'd asked him, why should teeth be flossed? I first will catechize, so you tell me, he said. Thus far you've come upon its wings, but what in essence is this poetry you claim so much for? What is its beginning? What could I say to one who'd mastered this? Speechless. But then a voice I heard within, low, singing, raised me to a precipice, high up and higher still, till I looked down upon the kingdoms and the deep abyss where, overthrowing self, I found my own soul in his hands, trusting and safe and well, all well, with beauty in which spirit drowns. I didn't say a word, but John heard all, perceptive to the slightest motion made within the mind that God restores to whole. Well answered. Now my turn to speak, he said. I lay across his breast and asked him, who is it betraying, though he eats your bread, Lord? There, the garden that he entered too, I was, and by his cross I suffered, stood, then rushed to his tomb where I saw his proof, the dark abyss of death and deepest flood of hell, and he, lone mortal, in their dregs pulled down, and yet triumphant through his blood, proving immortal, rising from the rags of ruin, never more to know dead dust, or feel that gravity which makes flight drag. With that, he burst into laughter, all here must, resuming, answering then your query so, to know his mind requires completely trust that in his glory everyone basks, grows. For he could never with full praise be praised if even one blade of grass did not show its love for him, stretching upwards and raised so many trillion times and multiplied, as even grass for him has gazed and gazed, awaiting that redemption as winds sighed their tops and pressed them backwards into earth. He paused. from his glory nothing's untied. We're witnesses to his surpassing worth. The whole assembly, I became aware, suddenly still, as round a newborn birth all focus on the life that comes to be is waiting for the cry that says, I am, rejoicing then that life's our destiny. Thank you very much. Well, thank you. You've been a perfect audience. Nobody's